Good evening, everyone. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:30. All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Chowdhury.
Present.
Ms. Hall.
Present.
Mr. Obaid.
Present.
Ms. Watson.
Present.
Mr. Major.
Present.
Ms. Ayash.
Here.
And Mr. Hadlon's present. Acceptance of agenda, resolution number 1. Acceptance of agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Obaid. Seconded by Mr. Chowdhury. Resolved that upon the recommendations of the superintendent, the Board of Education accepts and approves agenda with any additions or deletions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, next up we have audience participation. Do we have anyone regarding the agenda items only?
I have one, not agenda item.
Okay. All right, now we have committee updates. Go ahead.
So we have school improvement, Dr. Len, President Mirsky, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see some of you again. I don't know all of you, but we've had many a year on different projects over the years with Hamtramck Board. And we're very pleased with what that reputation, what we've done together. So what we're bringing to you today is an optional program idea. Wayne County was approached by the state and a number of folks, especially at the University of Michigan Dearborn campus, Dr. Rose Wellman and her team, and I'll introduce one of them in just a second, presented to us, the Superintendent's Association, that there is a real need to look at the MEME, Middle Eastern North African student count situation. And you'll see where there are so far 9 districts who have indicated over the last half a year that they have an interest in wanting to pursue this. It's not required, you're not obligated, it's a voluntary program. But what we've learned is that the state is very interested in this, and so at the federal level, they're very interested in this because it's leading to what will eventually be a change in how the census will be counted the next time around. What we discussed in learning from Dr. Wellman and her team, the superintendents, is, well, what can this do in the individual districts in Wayne County? And so we pursued that, and you have some of that information in the documents we sent you. So what we're presenting is we have been asked by the Hamtramck Board and by other districts to just present the idea. Again, there is no obligation to do this. It's a pilot project. It wouldn't start till the fall with the first count for students. And there's no, to our knowledge, any problem in catching it that way, especially when you look at the data as presented in this overhead. You'll see that there's a significant number of students who are categorized as white. And we know that in the 9 districts who are listed, that's not an accurate count whatsoever. So with that said, let us go into it, and then you will attempt to answer any questions. With me this evening is Dr. Manna, who is on the team from University of Michigan, and she will be leading a number of discussion points that are on the overhead on present and counting. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. Dr. Manna.
Well, good evening and thank you for being here. My name is Donna Madden. Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Mirsky. So this is a pilot program that is supposed to give us a finer grained idea of who the demographic is when we refer to people from the MENA category. And just as a side note, a lot of these categories that are included in the census are important for reasons of budgeting, making decisions, meeting certain needs for populations. So it's really, really critical that we actually have a category for MENA. This is an opportunity for your school district to actually take the lead and show that This is one of the ways that this category can be used to collect data about students, and this is how we're using data about students from this background. It's, de-identified, so it's not, I understand there could be some concerns, so there's really no risks of anything being endangered. Anyhow, the hope is that this tool is going to be adopted statewide, but we are very excited to see that Hamtramck School District would like to take it on and give it a try and see how it works. We are really trying to improve the quality of the data that the census collects, because right now, if you look at all the data, as Dr. Wisniewski was saying, it's saying that most of the school districts are 80% and up of a white category, and as we know, that's inaccurate. It's not telling us exactly what students need, and what their home, I guess, backgrounds are bringing to the table as well. So, what we're doing and what we would like to ask is for the school district to encourage people to participate. As you can see, this is kind of trying to catch up with me. If we're trying to disaggregate the MENA category from the white category, that would basically give people a sense for, okay, Middle Eastern, North Africans are represented at this much of a percentage as compared to people from Asian, Black, or white ethnic backgrounds. So the outcomes is, again, to improve the quality of our data collection, to standardize the data collection across the district, especially for meeting needs of students for educational materials, ESL purposes, culturally appropriate learning material, which is always up for question, and to use to make informed policy decisions regardless of what the different backgrounds are that are coming into the school community. So we're also trying to, with this, try to match the local data and give an idea of how the local data compares to federal data. And so what this does is really provide a case, an example of how things could be really serve the student population and the school population better. So these are some of the combined options versus the ethnic and race separated options on the census. It kind of gives you a snapshot of what's in the updated version of the questionnaire. And so as you can see, in the previous or the combined option, you don't really have a category for people of Middle East or North African origin. And that would, basically you can choose no, we're not of Middle East or North African origin, and or yes, we are. And again, this is completely optional for people to identify using this category. However, again, we're trying to get it to a point where people understand the importance and the relevance of using such a new category to self-identify. Just as an update, the OMB is going to be reviewing some of the standards for ethnic categories up soon, and these have not been revised since 1997. So it's really high time that we take a closer look at all these different categories and how these surveys are implemented and rolled out. And so we're really looking to your district to be that shining, star on a hill that everybody sort of emulates once it comes to rolling out the final or the new version of the census. So that's about it for now. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yes, questions. Where are you going with minutes this one?
That's a great question. We had wonderful debates and conversations about that, and SWANA is brand new. There's still a lot going on with making it part of the broader discourse. MENA has just become part of the broader discourse on understanding this particular category. And so, not to disregard SWANA or the importance and relevance relevance of that category, but, we're trying to slowly catch up.
Right, but if we're already starting new, Middle East does not provide someone from
Right.
that area,
Right,
you know, access to the airline identity, or the fact that they're from Southwest Asia, so
right.
if this is launching, would you guys be opposed to changing it to something?
No, there's no opposition. I think that, once there's a revision process and there's a committee for revision, we can certainly bring that up, and that has been part of the conversation, so the folks at OMB and the Census Bureau are aware that there's, you know, an update to this category, considering a lot of the latest research and, you know, thinking around, the different ethnic categories.
Yeah, because there was a lot of work during this on focusing specifically on SWANA people. If we're going by this category, we want to be culturally competent and we want to decenter
Right.
certain ideologies. So
Right.
if you can go back to the team, SWANA would be more accurate and would be more fair to the students.
Sure, there's definitely, views on that. I think, I'll definitely bring that up and share that with our group, so, thank you.
In the process for the fact that this is not a requirement from the county or the state, it's a voluntary effort on the part of districts to be part of the pilot study. But what we put together is an opportunity for each district that chooses to go forward, and it can still be, doesn't have to be final decided until the end of the summer. We put together the concept of an ambassadorial team from every district. So be they students, be they parents, be they staff, they would come to meet and we would identify dates when they would come together so that they could then be the ambassadors, if you will, back to the local district that is participating in the pilot study. So it isn't myself, Amanda, or Dr. Wellman, or anything. It is people that folks can recognize in any one of the 9 respective districts that choose to participate. We want to create that center base of trust and transparency, that's all we're doing. There is no sleight of hand, there is no other alternative reason we're doing this. It's to correctly identify the students we're serving, and therefore, in many ways, in the educational world, have access to other programming options that we don't have now. Because as Amanda stated in one of the slides indicated, if you looked at the Hamtramck one again, in the other category, that's 8%, who's the other 8%? And that's similar to every other district. Every district has an other category, and it's either 2%, 8%, 14%, but no one can make out what does that mean, and therefore, does that inhibit your opportunities to go after program training for your staff, go after grant programs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it is, as Dr. Nana mentioned, it is what we've been led to believe through discussions at the federal level that the Census Bureau is going this way anyways. So in effect, Michigan, Wayne County, certain districts would be the pilot examples of why this makes sense, and nothing of harm came from it. It actually corrected a long time oversight. Again, just the category of the white is not active whatsoever. So that, I mean, in a nutshell, that's why, and why we have 9 districts that have so far stepped forward and said, yes, we have an interest, let's follow through the process before we sign up. And that's what we want to do, so that we get to the end of August, early September, we're really signing up so that the documents can be printed in a fashion that exercises the choices that will be made to accurately reflect the students of any one of the districts.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sounds like it has a lot of merit for different things.
We hope so, yes.
And thank you, and in regards to the ambassador program, they're beginning an ambassador program for community, parent and student involvement, where they're penciling in this meeting for Wednesday, today, June 22nd, from 4 to 5:30 at the American National Museum, and we'll confirm dates when everything is booked.
We obviously,
You're right.
because of the conflict with everything that went on with the whole school year, Hamtramck wasn't the only district that couldn't get the teams there. So they're making efforts to reconnect this at a time that's convenient, probably more than one. We can't just pick a date, let's say in July, and assume every one of the districts wants to participate and have their ambassadorial team, whether it's 3 or 13 people at there. And so we want to make sure they're comfortable with the number of dates so that this can all be done, and then a district can decide. You want to participate, here's your folks, what they've learned, here's what we know now that's been corrected, here's what we're proposing to do. The blessings, if you will, from the state, blessings from the county, we're moving forward.
Okay, so there is gonna be consideration for changing it from Venetus one, just for my clarity?
We still have that, we're still having that conversation right now. It's not by any means decided.
So many of the things are on the table, open for discussion. We just wanna move it, given that we have the student count coming up in the fall,
Yeah.
and then a second one in the winter time, as you know. So we just wanna get ahead of the curve to be able to show this can work. This is how folks readapted the data and information, and it went hopefully seamlessly, and it went without problem, and nobody in any of the communities was upset or curious or concerned with why are we doing it. There is no other objective. There is no, we're gonna change the scope of the district or anything like that whatsoever.
Yeah, that makes sense, but there was a good discourse about the difference, because if this is an opportunity to do it, you'd like to do it right. And you'd like to do it in a way that's accurately presented, and I can connect you guys with a few people that were advocating during the census, specifically for
Sure.
SWAT.
Yeah, we'd love to get that information. What I think this pilot program would allow, your district to do is to have a voice at the table where where you could say, you know what? We actually strongly believe that SWAT is the category that needs to be placed in the census, and here's why. And we've used the MENA category, and this is what it didn't catch, this is what it did catch. As you know, the language of, federal funding, state funding is data. So when you have data to back up certain groups' needs, then you're more well-positioned to argue for what you'd like to propose.
And again, you're not obligated to do this, it's very clear. This is, you're exploring it like 8 other districts are, and that's where we are as a county. We're just moving forward with what we think is highly credible thing to look at doing. Okay?
All right.
Thank you very much. We'll be back in touch.
Thank you. Next, we have a recreation update. Mr. Craig Daniels.
Can you use the mic?
Oh, it's not on?
We can't hear.
Oh, I turned mine off.
How about now? No? Yeah?
No, I had mine off.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yours working?
You just gotta be pretty close to it.
What about, okay.
Yeah, when you're on the light, once it's fucking away like that.
Good evening. Want to give you a spring, summer, update and recap, for the Recreation Department and recreation programs. So we'll start with the spring, of some programs and activities that took place, and then we'll, discuss what's going on currently and some things that we're, trying to get in the, or not trying to get, but we're gonna do, in September. So I'm gonna, update and recap of some of the events we had, in April and May. We had the grade egg scrambles, kids had the opportunity to run around and get the, eggs and redeem them for a prize. And then also in May, we had the stroll in the park, but actually it had to be at the community center due to the weather, the rain the night before, and the inflatables we had. The grass over there at Pulaski wasn't there to handle the weather. We had a photo booth. We had cupcakes, some pizza from Koenig Cafe. It was well attended at the community center. I think the numbers would have been better if it was outside. We also had our senior programs. Our seniors are coming back to the community center. Pre-COVID level, it's kind of growing in the morning. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have a senior kick fit from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, where the seniors come in and do low-impact aerobics. We were averaging around 8 to 10, 11, 3 days a week before COVID, and once we started back up last June, the numbers struggled. But right now, we're back at that pre-pandemic level of the seniors coming in 3 days a week. what they like about it is low impact. Not really, they do the weights, 5-pound weights, and the instructor is patient with them, so that's always good. So that's taking place every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning. We also have the seniors field trips to the casino. What we had to make sure we let them know that every trip cannot be a casino or whatever. We have to offer variety, and everybody don't want to attend the casino. So that's why we try to continue to offer variety. I.e., we went to the Tigers game with the seniors in May. That was well attended, and as well as we had a family night at the Pistons Clippers game, and those was tickets that we purchased March of 20 when they was going to play the Lakers right before when COVID hit. So we just asked the Pistons to give us a credit, and we just used that credit for 2 years later. So we used that then instead of getting the money back. Also going down to swim lessons. Those are picking back up to the pre-pandemic level. We had 52 total kids enrolled in our swim lessons, and the actuality, we could get more. I mean, we can't get more, but because the pool's so small and how it drops off, so we limit the class to six, not necessarily kids, but teenagers per class to make it where everybody can feel comfortable learning, and we're not overcrowded inside the little small pool at the high school. So what we did to try to help that, alleviate that, is instead of us doing 2 days a week swim lessons, we went down to 1 day a week. So they're still getting the same amount of weeks, but what it allowed more kids and more families the opportunity to be able to participate. And I thought that was critically important in getting the kids in the water to learn how to swim. So we went from 2 days to 1 day after the pandemic, because the demand went up like, hey, we don't have any room to let you in, so if I keep signing up every session, then I'm not allowing anyone else to get in, because the people who was in class first get first priority as far as registration. So far so good. That's been working out fairly well. Water aerobics, we average 6 people in adult water aerobics. Spring soccer finally wrapped up. We played through Detroit Pal. We came in second to Cesar Chavez. It was a competitive game. The week before, just a quick backstory, we was up 4-1. 4-4 was a tie game, and they ended because they was really getting competitive. So the week before it was ended in a tie, and then they beat us this past weekend. So the kids got a medal, a silver medal, and those games was taking place at historic Fort Wayne Field off of Jefferson. So the kids had a good time. So we're going to do another program in August, but it's not going to be competitive. It's going to be more of a clinic learning type compared to the competition. So that took place. Taekwondo happens every Tuesday and Thursday at the community center. So we average 21 kids for that participated. Dance, we have not seen a rebound from our pre-pandemic levels yet for dance, but we're still going to pound the pavement. We normally average before COVID, 15, 18 amongst all the classes, pre-ballet, jazz, dance. So right now, that's something we continue to work on to get the people back, into the facility to be able to utilize that program as well. So, any questions so far about the spring? Okay, all right. So summer. Starting now. So our summer playground program started yesterday. So right now between the two sites we have 57. I anticipate that number to grow. Yesterday was the first day of the program, and it goes from 8:30 to 4 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Food service provide the kids breakfast in the morning, and then we give them lunch at 11 o'clock, between 11 and 12 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Yesterday, with it being a scorcher, we took them to the pool, and then they hung out at the community center afterwards to get them out to heat or whatever. So Tuesdays are traditional pool days anyway, so it was a perfect time to bring them in and have them indoors and in the pool. We went through staff training with all our staff, CPR, first aid, AED training on that Monday. So we used Monday as training day for the high school kids and the adult staff. And then we began the program yesterday. So that would end August 11th, Thursday, August 11th. So we go 8 weeks. So we gave you a copy of our field trip schedule for the program. Swim lessons now, that started on Monday, so that's the calls I kept taking. So we're adjusting to the new schedule with school being out. Some people still think it's the schedule that we had last week, but now we're starting a new schedule. The pool open at 12 o'clock now since the school is out. So it's open from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. with a host of activities, swim lessons, water aerobics, adult open swim, and family swim. So we're doing that now. So we got 50 kids so far enrolled. I keep saying kids, but kids, young teenagers enrolled in that. And also we have open swim where we allow the kids just to come in, and we limit that capacity at 40 kids per swim hour, so we can make sure we have enough guards to watch all the kids, because all the kids can't swim in deep ends. So we need to be conscious of the kids in the shallow, so we limit that. So we make it 2 shifts to make it 40 and 40 per open swim time, so we won't get overcrowded with the amount of kids we have at that particular time. Baseball is coach pitch T-ball, the younger age group. Coach Mike Wilson is coaching that. So right now we have 8 kids enrolled in that. To get ready to get started in that. And then the new session of Taekwondo began on Monday, the 28th. So I expect those enrollment numbers to go up as well. On June 16th at historic Hamtramck Stadium, we had cricket. Hamtramck Recreation Department played Michigan Youth Cricket at the stadium. Our guys didn't fare well, but it was a competitive match. They all enjoyed each other and enjoyed playing against each other. And the Michigan Youth Cricket Organization want to partner up with Hamtramck to continue growing cricket and the kids who want to play cricket, give them that opportunity. I think I told the story, a real quick story about how I met all the kids. They was in the parking lot of the swimming pool hitting people's cars, with the ball. Not intentionally, but I could bring you in the community center, and then just the relationship grew from there. So they really enjoyed cricket. So it was a good game, good match, excuse me. So, but we lost that one. But we're going to continue to grow that program to give the kids the opportunity who want to play cricket, right? The chance, to have a program that they want to do. So that's going on. Tennis, we're working with the USTA. It's going to begin in July at Veterans Park. So right now we got 3 kids signed up and 1 adult at this particular time. So we expect enrollment to grow from there. How much, I don't know, but we expect the enrollment to move forward with the tennis program. Any questions about the summer program? I know I talked about that briefly. I know we had that down there.
What's the capacity of the playground program?
So right now, 45 we have at Pulaski, and we have the additional 12 over here at Playfair. We anticipate those numbers to grow, but what we tend to have is a lot of people want to go to Pulaski, and then it's diluted numbers. So now once we start sending some people over to Playfair,
How many can you accept?
we can 75 comfortably with the amount of staff we have, total between the 2 parks, yeah. So that started. And then the field trips, I gave a copy of the field trips, if you want to see what we plan on doing with the kids, during the week. A couple of these field trips, like the Michigan Parks and Recreation, every year have a Parks Day at the Capitol, so pretty much we just have to pay for transportation for that. There's no cost to attend that. The Crosswind Marsh as well is like a nature type place. They provide the bus and entry into the place, so we don't have to pay for that. And then we go into Kensington Beach, and then Metro Youth Day is free as well. So what we try to do is give them a good balance of trips that don't cost the department, as well as sprinkle in some ones that cost the department, things of that nature, and give them a well-rounded summer program. So that's what's taking place with that. Our family trips for the summer, we took some families. It was a full, the bus was full to Cedar Point in June. In August, we got the Turtle Cove Aquatic Center in August. The seniors went to the Toledo Zoo in June as well. In July, they go into the Belle Conservatory. And then the Detroit Opera House in August. Not too proud to beg, the Temptation, review. So they already signing up for that as well. So we go down to the events we having. We kicked off our movie in the park series this past Friday, June 17th. We had a very nice crowd. Yeah, the weather was beautiful that night as well. It was a good crowd, good attendance. But the movie was a little long. Got out about 11:30-ish. Yeah, waiting on the sun to go down. So that was June 17th, July 15th, and then we have another one on August 12th. And then we're doing the back to school movie in the park, and we haven't put that movie out there, and that's going to be August 25th. And that's going to be prior to the back to school. And while we're doing that different this year is because we partner up with the Hamtramck School and Community to do the event at the community center on August 23rd. So there's no need to use resources for both of them. So we partner up with them on the 23rd. Capital improvement at Pulaski. I know we did a survey about what the community wanted as far as the apparatus, and we finally got those delivered and installed by the spring. So we got the treetop spinner, the sensory drums when you walk up for anybody who wheelchair accessible, things like that, they can have some opportunities to play. And also we got some spinning seats for our younger kids over there at the small 2 to 5 play state. Those things was voted on by the community when we did the survey last fall or summer. It took some time with the delivery of the equipment and things of that nature. The things we have to get repaired over there, we ordered a new slide. The slide got a hole in there, so we keep taping it up. But it's under warranty, so we're waiting on it to get shipped. That's been 3 weeks now, or a month since we ordered it, so I asked, they said it's on its way. Then our maintenance department is going to go ahead and put it in once it arrives. And also one of the tire swings has some wire hanging off of it. So we ordered a new tire swing as well, so that's coming in as well. So right now we're down one tire swing, and we're down one small 2 to 5 slide. Those are ordered and ready to, once we get them, we'll be able to put them up and be ready to go. So to keep the board abreast of that. Also we added, before I get to the conference, we also gave you a quick, like a cheat sheet or a quick update, you know what I'm saying, so you can see what type of programs and what's the data of the programs we have offering. And one thing I want to touch on that we're super excited, we're going to try to pull off, so this is breaking news here. We want to do a drive-in right over here at Playfair. So the vision is, this is breaking news now, I have not all the details, but the vision is having a transmitter that we could pay $130 for, so they can use it for FM dial or AM dial. And then we already got our screen that we already use movie in the parks at Pulaski. And so the vision, and don't hold me to everything right now, so the vision is to have people come in and enter off of Jacob for the drive-in, charge a nominal fee, like $7. I know for Wyoming is $27. So very nominal is 27 for a car. Yeah, so charge a nominal fee, and then the vision is, please don't hold me to this, have everybody leave out of this way when it's over with. So they'll come in through Jacob, we'll have police presence there, they'll come in through Jacob, park on the grass, not on the diamond. My maintenance guy already looked at what we could set the movie screen. And after the movie, everybody come out this gate right here and then head down Roosevelt to the end. So that's my goal. So we're gonna try to pull this off. September 1st is the tentative date. We looked at the football schedule, we looked at DCFC. Now the pressure's on, since I told y'all, to try to figure out and make sure we can do it and do it in a safe, enjoyable, family type event and see what we have. So really the cost of it would be the having like the police reserves work, and the transmitter is only like $130, and it covers 150 feet each way, where you can be able to, use your AM or FM dial to watch the movie. So, yeah, if I
Test it first.
yeah, we are. We definitely are. We're gonna test the wheel before we even put out the flyer and all that. So yeah, we talked about that. So that's what's going on. And then the final thing I want to talk about, the National Parks and Recreation Conference is back. And this is in Phoenix, Arizona. So this is the conference I used to attend every year prior to COVID, regarding all the parks and recreation professionals around the country get together for educational sessions, playscape apparatuses, discussions about what your community doing, what my community doing, how can we, get some ideas from your community we can use in our community and things of that nature. And that's taking place September 19th through the 22nd in Phoenix, Arizona. So, any questions for me? Okay. Okay, yeah, it is, it's busy, but hopefully we can pull this drive in on, but it's breaking news, so I don't like all the details.
That's all right, that's together.
I hope so, yeah, hope so, all right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks
All
for
right,
seeing, thank you.
And now we have the building and sites updates for the Holbrook kitchen project. Our very own Sherry Lynham.
Good evening, board.
And Fred, our chief, of course.
I think everyone knows this gentleman, but in case you don't, this is Fred Marinucci, our food service director with SFE this will be their third year, doing a great job. So I brought Fred along with me for this presentation so that he can explain to you the need for this project and the layout of how the project will work. So, each year the fund balance, the cafeteria does a budget, and they have a fund balance just like general fund. For the last 3 years, we've increased our surplus in the cafeteria fund, and increased it so much to the point where we had an excess fund balance of
Just under 1.2.
just under $1.2 million. The state does not allow school districts to carry more than 3 months revenue over the expenses, and if your fund balance exceeds that 3 months average expenses, then you either have to use it or give it back to the state, and that's not an option to give it back to the state. So we looked at some of the major projects that are needed in the cafeterias and the kitchens, and a major project that's needed is over at Holbrook. There's actually some safety issues with the layout of the way the kids come into the cafeteria and receive their food. So Fred can talk to you here, he has some handouts for you.
The 1.2 million that Sherry just mentioned is the surplus. The actual excess was 1.7, so if you take away the 3 months of operating expenses, take away the 510, that gets you to about the 1.2 ballpark numbers. What you see in front of you is a diagram of the existing property at Holbrook. And then you've got a proposal for, I believe, 540 square foot addition with the expenses after that. And then the third diagram would be an additional 825 square feet. And the fifth page would then be the expenses after that. Currently at Holbrook, we have, I don't know, I'll call it an archaic kitchen. The stove that we have in there is an old commercial, it's not even commercial, it's an old residential stove that we use. We do have a 5 shelf oven that we just recently purchased, gas oven, I apologize,
electric oven, because the whole kitchen is electric there. We have a 3-sink compartment that, and a garbage disposal, and we probably have 1 working table, maybe 2 if we kind of stretch it and don't use it as storage. The proposals then would give us an actual dish machine, so that we're not hand washing everything. It would move everything around. It would allow for a new kitchen area for the students to sit in, cafeteria area for the students to sit in. It would expand the space within our kitchen. We are currently doing approximately 160 to 165 lunches there every day, plus the breakfast hovering around 180 to 185 on a daily basis. It is, kitchen-wise, it's probably comparable numbers-wise to what we're doing at Kosciuszko, pretty close to it. We have a 1 double-door cooler refrigerator and 1 double-door freezer at Holbrook to try and hold all of our foods. The proposals that you see, the one that I obviously am gonna go for would be the 825 square foot addition. That includes a walk-in cooler and a walk-in freezer. The reason why, one of the many reasons why I want to go with that one, I've got 1 walk-in cooler at the high school, 1 walk-in cooler at Kosciuszko/West, 1 walk-in cooler at Dickinson East. I've got a walk-in freezer at Dickinson East, and I've got 2 walk-in freezers at the high school. Storage alone, adding those 2, would ease what I have to have over at the other locations. I can then disperse the product both to the cooler and the freezer at Holbrook and use those items.
Where is it on?
It would be on the 3rd one.
Right,
It is,
so where is it on? Mine goes where?
it's the 3rd, the last diagram, let's see if I can, yeah, my eyeballs in. If you look at this here to the lower left,
Got it. Yeah. So is the fridge first or the freezer first?
fridge,
First.
yes. Cooler first, freezer second.
So this is a storage,
Which one are you
It's
looking
not a
at? I
freezer.
apologize.
the first page,
First page,
the existing.
The
Is that
existing one?
a storage or,
which area are you looking at? I apologize.
I'm looking at the,
This is all open there?
no, way here. Is that a storage room or?
This area is storage, yes.
It is storage, not a.
It's a dry storage.
Yes.
For those of you not under, please take my recommendations, don't get old glasses and things like that start to go.
So are we moving to the playground?
Yes,
The plan that you are
the fund
recommending?
would move out toward the playground, correct, yes.
How much space are they losing on the playground?
They don't use it.
They don't use it?
No.
It's
They
old.
have, they have
They use
across
it
the
by
street.
Yeah. Can you please share, unless you're already planning to, how it's gonna improve the flow for students?
There's nothing over
traffic.
there, like old stuff.
Currently, the students walk into the service area, then they have to walk into where we do our prep work, where our oven is, where a 3-compartment sink is, and they walk through a little area that has our dry storage, right by our cooler and our freezer, and then they walk into the gym.
So they're walking past butcher knives, hot ovens.
They've been doing that for decades. I mean, we did that.
But what's the timeline difference between option 1 and option 2?
I believe it is pretty similar to what's going to be 1 year, I think, is what they hope to do is come in.
We'll have to get the bids out, and so, you know, if there's that process, I think that'll probably take about 30 days to get the bids out, get the bids back in. And, you know, then it'll be a matter of when the company that's selected is able to get started. So hopefully they can get started on it this summer, but I'm not sure about that.
That
I think we
playground,
need to check with the partners in architecture on that, on the timeline.
It's gonna be the lower floor, right?
Correct.
Same, still.
There is a potential discussion about bringing a side entrance in with a ramp so that all of my deliveries stay away from stairs.
They won't take the whole playground. That's what you're thinking
I
about?
was thinking about, that. I was like.
It's not
are
gonna
we
take the whole
losing
one.
Any other space for the kids, I guess is my question, if we go with the bigger option.
Losing space? No.
It's long.
It's long?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
They're not using it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the bigger one if you guys are, I don't see an issue with it now, and it looks like, you said same time, basically, whether you go.
I guess the second option that was here referred to because storage and always in food service need. And I'll go with the third recommendation because I'm in food service.
I was gonna say I'll trust
So,
you.
I'll go with his recommendation.
Plus, we're getting the Blum, so that's gonna be in the way.
Right.
Yeah, finance question, why is there, already intended purpose for the remaining, 1.2 of food service surplus? Because I see allocated here only about 700
Correct.
of that.
Right, so the plans were submitted to, the Department of Ed, and the amount that they approved that can be paid for out of the cafeteria fund is only the $692,000. They're saying that the other is general fund responsibility.
Why? What's the distinction they made there?
I believe it's because it's,
Modifying existing structure?
modifying existing structure, anything that goes outside of the building cannot be paid for out of the cafeteria fund.
We gotta waive that issues code, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, we gotta waive, yeah. That person doesn't work there anymore?
She does not, she retired unfortunately.
Bummer.
Yes, the difference is structural, and, again, selfishly, yet another reason why I would look for more is regardless of which option we would choose or be approved, the same amount of money is coming out of food service, my surplus, regardless of which option is chosen.
So we would be looking at an additional approximately $600,000 to come from another source. In the current 21-22 budget, we did budget $1 million for unspecified capital improvements. We did not do any of those projects, so what I'm recommending is that we reserve that money and use it for this project during the 22-23 school year.
Say that again, what were those ones supposed to be?
We budgeted $1 million and it was unspecified what that was going to be used for. We were looking at a variety of projects throughout the district. We talked about possibly bathroom upgrades, maybe renovating the new buildings that were purchased, but none of those projects came to fruition, so we still have that money available. So
Yeah, they're
this
more
project
money
would not hurt the fund balance at all.
Yeah, it's long overdue. Yeah. I'd go along with option 3 as well.
Some of the other excess food fund spend down ideas that we came up with that were approved by the Department of Education included some additional double door coolers that we got at the high school. We've purchased, they've been ordered, and they're expected in August. 42 lunch tables with seats, and it was decided that Big Ten school emblems, Ivy League emblems, and 6 local colleges would be actually on the tabletops and the seats as well. So you'll have, again, Big Ten with 14 schools, so you have 28 tables of Big Ten schools, 8 Ivy League, and then 6, I think it's Wayne State, Open University.
Can you get that list to Mr. Nargi to share with us?
Absolutely. I can even get some pictures for you.
I'm excited, I was like, can you do that too, you know?
I'll get you the proofs that they sent me.
Perfect.
Sure does.
So that's what, when you said we're gonna get 20 tables?
They have been ordered, we've already put a deposit down, and they should be in August, yes, 42 new tables for high school.
So I, okay, perfect.
We're in negotiation, contacting the painter, all 8 cafeterias will be painted as part of the spend down plan.
Do you guys plan on doing like murals or just pouring paint?
I'm not really in boring.
You're not
We're gonna spruce it up a little bit.
They did a nice
Try to
job,
get some colors in there.
But it's not murals, it's just like regular paint color?
Yes, yes.
So we're still doing banners?
The goal is to paint some banners, not necessarily banners, but to paint on the
Okay,
on the pillars, yes. Different schools and other things that are
At the high school or all the schools?
primarily those will be at the high school. the schools will be painted. We've got a lot of new equipment that came in, small wares, wire stands. We think a lot of those things will go a long ways, but 1.2 is kind of hard to spend.
Really?
Until that big ticket item was 692.
I see it. Well, between both food service guys, I have no reservations with option two.
So will the old tables at the high school, will they go to like the elementary or the middle school?
We'll
The
pick out
circle
good-
ones?
We'll pick out the good ones and see where we can recycle those, yes. Some have seen better days, some have been soldered to keep together.
What do you guys do with them when if you can't salvage them out of their school?
And see if we can potentially take them to junkyards and maybe make a couple bucks off of the sheet metal or the metals, if that's a possibility. Firewood,
Is it really?
no.
Probably treated.
Any questions, anyone?
Nope.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I sent them just a visual, this is not what we're getting, but these were the proofs that were sent from another place for the tables. See those? The ones with all of the emblems on, you'll see the colorful as far as
Oh,
what
nice.
that company can do.
That's different.
Some of the tables that we're getting into have charging stations,
Oh, cool.
so that, well, you know, this is on the phones.
Oh, like a
Kids-
college cafeteria.
Yeah.
They even have panini type like stations and things
Like the university shop.
Does that have like the college cafeteria?
Mr. President, that's enough that's for school updates, the district updates on my behalf.
All right. So next we got the bylaws and policies reading, second reading. Majority of the policies are mandated updates except for policy 1616, policy 3216, policy 4216, and policy 5511. We have some choices we have to make, okay? So we'll start off with policy,
I'm sorry, can you just go through those
Yeah.
numbers again?
yeah, it's policy 1616.
Never mind, I got it.
Okay.
Copy not that. What are you talking about, 1616? Oh, it's just those four.
The
Addressing and grooming.
the policy number.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
further down, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with policy 1616, staff dress and grooming. So the Board of Education believes that administration set an example in dress and grooming to their fellow students to follow. An administrator who understands this precept and adheres to it enlarges the importance of his or her tasks, presents an image of dignity, and encourages respect to authority. These factors act in a positive manner towards the maintenance of discipline. So the board retains the authority to specify the following dress and grooming guidelines for staff, which will prevent such matter from having adverse impact on the educational process. When assigned to the district duty, all professional staff members shall, and we've selected A through E. A is be physical, clean, neat, and well groomed. B is dress in a manner consistent with their professional responsibilities. C is dress in a manner that communicates to the students a pride in personal appearance. D is dress in a manner that does not cause damage to the district property. And E is to be groomed in such a way that their hairstyle or dress does not disrupt the educational process nor cause a healthy or safety hazard. So there's one option where we can choose to or not to add, and it's the board recognizes employees' rights to dress in accordance with their gender identity within the constrictions of the preceding dress and grooming guidelines. So,
Mr. Headway?
yes.
For E, can we follow up with Myola and why we explicitly stated hairstyle or dress? Hairstyle is the word that kind of feels out of place there.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, if we're okay with it, Joanne, if we can drop hairstyle altogether, I feel like that's kind of rooted in a past practice we'd wanna get away from. And some employees, you know, don't ever have to worry about their hair as higabis or otherwise.
Let's check
Okay.
from Neola.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I think those are the ones that are already in our policy, right?
Yeah.
So, are we able to just kind of
Yes, I'll,
uncheck that one?
for me, I was gonna say, anything regarding grooming, if there's hairstyle, I would like us as a board to be mindful of how that can be harmful to people who have been targeted in the past for certain hairstyles.
Right, okay. So can we just eliminate E?
No, we can.
And just hairstyle, correct? Like reframe that so it excludes hairstyle.
Yeah, we can take it back to Neola if they say just eliminate it, that's fine by me. If we wanna just drop the word hairstyle in E and type it as it's read, I'm fine by that as
So
well.
just table all of the dressing room, I think they all ask the same question, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
table these ones and then get those questions answered by Neola.
Yeah, okay. We can table them.
You okay with that? Sal?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's most of this, but
The other items are generic, but listen.
I do wanna bring it to your attention, Sal, for, policy 8330. The comments that Neola made didn't specify that it was to be like up to date with Michigan law. It just said that your policy could be up to date with adding those email addresses. I'd like the board to consider not including those for the student safety. And it was policy 8330 for student records.
Are we done with the dressing and grooming ones? 'Cause I think the fourth dressing and grooming one had a different question.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah,
I was
the
recommending.
5511.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's right.
I wanna know more what Miss Ayashi's talking about for that one.
Yeah.
So which one?
We can continue with Ms. Ayash.
Okay,
What's
perfect,
the
Sal.
concern?
So it's 8330, if you guys look at the suggestion for the addition, we are looking
Oh.
at.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
You said 8330?
No, sorry, I said it wrong.
Is there a way we can put it on the screen because some of us don't have your,
Oh,
It was on the,
can you pull them up?
if you pull it up.
Yeah, you said you pulled up on our list, screen share. Yeah. We can share.
Okay.
Sure, here. Okay, so in 8330, there's a specific section for armed force recruitment. And we are adding, which is optional according to the Neola recommendations, a district assigned email address if it's available. I'd like the board to consider just keeping that off because this policy's been existing fine as it is, and there are still students who are concerned about that recruitment option as well.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
I apologize, we were looking for it and I didn't hear what you said, do you mind saying it again?
Under armed force recruiting,
Yeah.
there is an addition of district assigned email address if available.
Oh, yeah.
I would like the board to not consider including that
Yeah,
for
we
that
had-
section.
We had discussed this before, yeah, I recall, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, we can bring it back to Neola because according to their current comments, it's not legally required. So the board still wants to have that dialogue. I'm okay with not sharing any information with recruiters, to be honest, but
Agreed,
what do you guys think?
yeah. I agree, my recollection is, we should get answers, but was that there's some component of that we don't have the choice to.
Right, and I think it's changed recently, so if we can,
Yeah.
Joanne, can you mark that?
So are you talking about not adding that, or do you wanna not do this policy at all and check with Neola on?
Well, the policy, I don't think we can get rid of the student records, but, because the top part makes sense for the privacy of the students. That addition and deletion makes sense, right? But scrolling down to specifically the Army recruiter sharing the students' information, we had discourse about it for a few years, but according to the current Neola's little thing that they gave us, it's optional, and I think the board has always felt, board has changed over the years, so you guys let me know, has felt a way about that, and we just wanted to remove that particular language from our policy for the Army recruitment,
So,
All of the language?
whatever was allowed. Because I know there was an issue with, I know that there was an issue with certain things you just can't get out of with Army recruiters, but we also gave a lot more leeway than we should have as a district. So if we can look into that with Neola again.
so table this one also, and then get the answers, right?
For that one, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure we can move forward with crossing out hairstyle, but I'm not a Neola rep, so we can wait for that as well.
Okay, we'll table that one too.
That'd be easier, but just for the record, I'm also completely in favor of adding the additional statement for all of the dress and grooming standards to do with, preferred, gender identity.
Okay, I think we should table all the dressing and groomings so we can do more research on it and ask questions prior. We could table it to our next board meeting if that's okay with everybody.
Yes, and then if we're tabling all of them then, specifically for students, there's something that says that the buildings can approve specific religious wear, but only at the principal's discretion. As someone who's clearly very visibly practicing a religious thing, I want to see if we can tweak that language to protect the student. Because if a principal, for whatever reason, won't let you wear hijab or yarmulke or whatever, and our policy protects that, I think that puts us in an unfavorable position as a district.
Yeah.
So, Joanna, that as well. It was a specific thing about at the principal's discretion.
The student dress.
For the student dress.
40, wait,
No.
no, these are all.
Also, with one of these dress and grooming policies?
It was specifically the student dress and grooming. About, and then there was a line that said at the principal's discretion, like right at the end of it. No, I don't think that makes sense personally, to give the principal.
Probably
that authority.
5511, because other ones all say staff.
Yeah. Alright, and don't let me stop you guys if you have anything. Dive in.
The rest of them were all, there were no elections to be made, so they're all perfunctory.
Yeah.
So, good, no questions since our first reading.
All right. So, resolution number 3, or I'm sorry, resolution number 2. Approval of Holbrook Kitchen Project. Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall, seconded by Ms. Ayash. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the superintendent to move forward with soliciting bids for the Holbrook School Kitchen remodel project. Estimated cost to be approximately $1,300,384, $692, and $692,119 from food service fund and $608,265 from general fund. All in favor?
Wait, so for clarity, this is, we're voting on option 2 as the board, correct?
Option 2, yeah.
Option 2? Option service.
Is that option 2?
Yeah, it's option
The bigger one.
Yeah.
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 Okay, option 2.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Resolution number 3, adoption of board policy changes / revisions. Do I have a motion?
Are we tabling these?
Yeah, we're tabling 8330, 1616, 3216, 4216, and 5511. Until our next meeting. Motion is by Mr. Obeid,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Hall. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby adopt the changes / revisions to the following board policies / guidelines. Policy 0167.3, Policy 3120, Policy 6152, Policy 7450, Policy 8310, Policy 8320, Policy 6110, Policy 6114, and Policy 6325. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Resolution number 4, ratification of para educators and auxiliary education employees contracts. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Major,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Obeid. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the ratification of the contract between the para educators / auxiliary educational employees and the Hamtramck Board of Education as per the TA dated April 29th, 2022. Any questions or?
So this is just what they've been negotiating on, correct?
Yeah.
Trust our negotiators, if it's presented to us.
Alright.
And just in general, thanks to all of the parties involved from employees in our district, and hope that, you know, these will continue us, you know, down the path that we have been on recently to, you know, stand out and reward those who deserve it, and, yeah, thanks again, Aaron.
Alright. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Resolution number 5, ratification of the HFT contract. Do I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the ratification of the contract between the Hamtramck Federation of Teachers and the Hamtramck Board of Education as per the TA dated June 13th, 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion passes. Resolution number 6, ratification of the AFSCME contract. Do I have a motion?
So good.
Mr. Chowdhury,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Watson. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the ratification of the contract between AFSCME and the Hamtramck Board of Education as per the TA dated June 6, 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Resolution number 7, ratification of the Hamtramck Administrators Association contract. Do I have a motion? Mr. Major? And seconded by Ms. Hall. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve ratification of the contract between Hamtramck Administrators Association and the Hamtramck Board of Education as per the TA dated June 20th, 2022. All in favor?
Wait, hang on.
Yes.
Does this mean you did all of them, Mr. Najee? Oh, okay.
The team did, yeah,
All right, that's great.
both sides.
That's all the discussion.
All right. Anybody else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Resolution number 8, approval of contract extension for Sherry Lynham. Do I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Hall, seconded by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the contract extension for Sherry Lynham, Director of Finance, as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Resolution. Resolution number 9, approval of contract for Mujahid Al-Hadi. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Hall, seconded by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the contract for Mujahid Al-Hadi, Executive Director of Human Resources, as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. Resolution number 10, approval of contract extension for Debbie Comrente. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Obey,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Watson. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the contract extension for Debbie Commente, Payroll Benefits Coordinator, as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
You good here?
Debbie's here in spirit.
Resolution number 11, approval of contract extension for Joanne McBriar. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ayash, seconded by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the contract extension for Joanne McBriar, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent, as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, do we have any audience participation?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Bill Meyer. Time will start when you start.
Hello, I'm Bill Meyer with the One Hamtramck organization. We've been around for a long time, addressing issues of discrimination, justice, and all that sort of stuff. Fair representation in government and education. I'm here to discuss a lawsuit that was filed by the current superintendent, Julie Lamed. That's right, current superintendent. But first, I want to mention how totally inaccurate that report was that we saw at the beginning about the representation of ethnic groups in Hamtramck. At the school, 52% white, 2015 and 2019. I mean, how did they come up with those figures? It wasn't even close to that. But now, I think you can tell, I think most of you agree here, that the majority of students in our public schools are people of color. I think the vast majority of them are Yemeni. I don't know what the number is, but I think it's way up there. And I think the majority of teachers are majority white, which doesn't make them bad or good or nothing like that, just great teachers. But this sort of misrepresentation of the ethnicity of the city, disregard for the ethnicity, is one of the problems we're dealing with there, especially with this lawsuit filed by the superintendent against the school district, against the teachers union, and against 5 of the 7 board members. First of all, you gave a gag order at the beginning of this whole process when she filed for leave of absence, medical leave of absence, which is very legal. And you stopped her from saying anything about this to the public, so the public was very unaware of what was going on. And you've kept it secret pretty well for a long time. I mean, you've kept it quiet. But it's coming up, and especially now with the lawsuit, and especially when a few meetings ago we gave special power to one of the school board members to investigate the school superintendent. That sort of implies that there must have been some crime committed or something like that. I'm curious what it is, and I wonder if you found any crimes yet. It's been about 6 months now. And how long are you going to carry on this charade? How long are you going to spend our taxpayer money hiring an interim superintendent, hiring a special assistant to the superintendent, the former superintendent, and the replacement for the human resources director? How long are you going to keep spending our money until you come out forward with a real charge against the superintendent and fire her?
20 seconds.
20 seconds, good. You need more than 20 seconds to tell the public, what are you looking for? Why do you want to get rid of her? My recommendation is, for those who can't work with the returning superintendent, you should retire, resign, because she's coming back. Thank you very much.
Do we have any more?
No.
All right. Additional board discussion. Just so we all are aware, we have a meeting on Monday. Does everybody know?
Regular board meeting?
It's the budget meeting.
What time is it?
What time is it?
6:30.
At 6:30.
I'm unavailable, but I'll send in written questions.
Okay. Anybody else unavailable?
I'll be available.
This is a regular board meeting? No.
It's a special.
It's a special vote.
I'm not able.
Okay.
It's the budget hearing.
All right. So it looks like we'll have a quorum. Oh, hold on.
I think I'm available, but Sal, just to confirm though, July we're not having any meetings.
No.
correct?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have a quorum. All right. So I'll see you guys all on Monday
6:30.
at 6:30. Anybody else have any additional discussion?
Just in general, for those that are here, in general, thank you for, putting your best foot forward and wrapping up another school year and, helping make our school system the best place to be in town.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who was involved in the negotiations and to the administration team and everybody. You guys did an awesome job and it went smoothly, so thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Resolution number 12, meeting adjournment. Do I have a motion? Ms. Ayash
Showcase.
and Mr. Chowdhury seconded. Resolved that the regular board meeting be adjourned at 7:44 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.